Here we go. Please say hello to Leah Jackson, owner and proprietor of Angst Gallery and Niche Wine Bar. Thank you so much. Do you have anything you want to say to the peoples?
To the peoples?
Yeah.
Let's see. Yes. I wish that I had a poster. I wish I had the poster ready for you guys. So my 5-year anniversary party for the wine bar is November 8th at the Higgins Theater. There'll be Spanish wines, Spanish movies. It'll be fabulous. Tickets this year are essentially you'll come over and purchase a stemless wine glass with our new logo on it, and that glass gets you into the Higgins. So $6. Let's see what else do I have. This is our happy hour menu for you guys all evening, and apparently we just found out it is in 3D. So if you want to borrow the glasses and have the menu come at you. I don't know, what else do I need to say? What else I got going on? Oh, if anybody...
An artist talk that you want to know about?
Not yet, no. But I do have, let's see, if you're into sparkling wines, I have a Bubbles Club event on the 19th? Yeah, that's a Monday night. And then on the following Tuesday, on the 27th, is it our calendar? The following Tuesday is the Scary Cheese Night. So we're doing a tasting of 4 or 5 scary cheeses paired with the wines that love them.
What makes them scary?
That is scary.
So there you go.
The questions from the crowd. What
Yes.
makes them
What
scary?
makes them
Could you
scary?
be more
Yes.
specific?
So what makes them scary? It's not that I've left them with my shoes for a month. It's, you know. It could be the way that they're made. It could be the way they smell. It could be the way they look. It could be anything that intimidates you from eating them. So we've had some very interesting cheeses in. Some of them are made in very strange ways. But you'll have to show up and find out.
Be not afraid of the cheese.
No, we're not afraid of the cheese. Okay, anything else?
Oh, no, I think that's it.
Okay.
We're good.
All right,
Thank you
enjoy.
to Leah Jackson for having us. Be good to your bartenders next door. Oh, here's one thing you probably want to know. You're welcome to bring any food or drink in here that you want, but not through these doors, only through the back. It's a liquor control thing, so. But feel free otherwise to bring things back and forth. So welcome to Ghost Town Poetry Open Mic. Last night was the 50th anniversary of a reading that made people like Allen Ginsberg and Gary Snyder and Michael McClure, Philip LaMantia famous overnight. I was fortunate to be involved in an event around that anniversary last night, but I thought because we're just one day away from it that I might read one of the poems that I read there last night for you tonight as a way to say hello, because I always read a poem by somebody else to get a poem into the air. So this from Allen Ginsberg's first book, Howl and Other Poems, is Sunflower Sutra. And those of you who have been playing along at home know that our lovely videographer and fellow poet, Tiffany Berbershram, has got a thing about sunflowers. So just as I did last night, I'm going to dedicate this reading to her. Sunflower Sutra by Allen Ginsberg. I walked on the banks of the Tin Can Banana Dock and sat down under the huge shade of a Southern Pacific locomotive to look at the sunset over the Box House Hills and cry. Jack Kerouac sat beside me on a busted rusty iron pole. Companion, we thought the same thoughts of the soul, bleak and blue and sad-eyed, surrounded by the gnarled steel roots of trees of machinery. The oily water on the river mirrored the red sky. Sun sank on top of final Frisco peaks. No fish in that stream, no hermit in those mounts. Just ourselves, roomy-eyed and hungover like old bums on the riverbank, tired and wily. Look at the sunflower, he said. There was a dead gray shadow against the sky, big as a man, sitting dry on top of a pile of ancient sawdust. I rushed up enchanted. It was my first sunflower, memories of Blake, my visions, Harlem, and hells of the eastern rivers, bridges clanking Joe's greasy sandwiches, dead baby carriages, black treadless tires forgotten and unretreaded, the poem of the riverbank, condoms and pots. Steel knives, nothing stainless, only the dank muck and the razor-sharp artifacts passing into the past. and the gray sunflower poised against the sunset, crackly, bleak, and dusty with the smut and smog and smoke of olden locomotives in its eye. Corolla of bleary spikes, pushed down and broken like a battered crown, seeds fallen out of its face, soon to be toothless mouth of sunny air, sun rays obliterated on its hairy head like a dried wire spiderweb. Leaves stuck out like arms out of the stem, gestures from the sawdust root, broke pieces of plaster fallen out of the black twigs, a dead fly in its ear. Unholy, battered old thing you were, my sunflower. Oh, my soul, I loved you then. The grime was no man's grime, but death and human locomotives. All that dress of dust, that veil of darkened railroad skin, that smog of cheek, that eyelid of black misery, that sooty hand or phallus or protuberance of artificial worse than dirt, industrial, modern, all that civilization spotting your crazy golden crown. And those blear thoughts of death and dusty, loveless eyes and ends and withered roots below, in the home pile of sand and sawdust, rubber dollar bills, skin of machinery, the guts and innards of the weeping, coughing car, the empty, lonely tin cans with their rusty tongues alack. What more could I name? The smoked ashes of some cocked cigar, the cunts of wheelbarrows and the milky breasts of cars, worn out asses of chairs and sphincters of dynamos, all these entangled in your mummified roots, and you there standing before me in the sunset, all your glory in your form. A perfect beauty of a sunflower, a perfect, excellent, lovely sunflower existence, a sweet, natural eye to the new hip moon. Woke up alive and excited, grasping in the sunset shadow sunrise golden monthly breeze. How many flies buzzed round you innocent of your grime, while you cursed the heavens of the railroad in your flower soul? Poor dead flower, when did you forget you were a flower? When did you look at your skin and decide you were an impotent, dirty old locomotive? The ghost of a locomotive? The specter and shade of a once powerful, mad American locomotive? You were never no locomotive, sunflower, you were a sunflower. And you, locomotive, you are a locomotive, forget me not. So I grabbed up the skeleton-thick sunflower and stuck it at my side like a scepter, and deliver my sermon to my soul, and Jack's soul too, and anyone who will listen. We're not our skin of grime. We're not our dread, bleak, dusty, imageless locomotive. We're all beautiful golden sunflowers inside. We're blessed by our own seed and golden, hairy, naked accomplishment bodies growing into mad, black, formal sunflowers in the sunset, spied on by our eyes under the shadow of the mad locomotive, riverbank sunset, Frisco hilly, tin can evening sit-down vision. Allen Ginsberg, Berkeley, 1955. So as we do, so that she can return to making us all look good on the internet, we begin with Tiffany Burbashram.
Thank you. So this first one, October, is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So I wrote this last year. So this is from an article from September 8th. The team announced the decision on its Twitter feed Monday afternoon. Rice, the Ravens' 27-year-old running back, was serving a 2-game suspension stemming from his domestic violence incident involving his then-fiancée in an elevator of Atlantic City Casino last winter. In that video posted by TMZ shortly after the incident, Rice could be seen dragging the unconscious Janae Palmer, now his wife, from the elevator. On Monday morning, TMZ posted another video showing the actual punch. A social media storm ensued, and the Ravens took action hours later. So this is my poem on domestic violence. Oh, so much talk once a hero commits the act. So much dialogue when people we place on pedestals fall to their own demons. A punch to the face, drag her by the hair, humiliation as she lies knocked out at the hand of someone who loves her. The black eye and bones will heal, they just take time. The scars that no one sees lay far below the surface. You can't repair the emotional damage, the humiliation. The self-doubt, the internalized questions of what she did to make him hurt her. No one talks about the mental abuse that goes on for days, months, or years before the physical. That is where the real blackness sits, Quietly in the corner of her bathroom, she sits in silence, crying into a damp towel soaked with her own tears. She is so quiet so he can't hear her. She hides pain below smiles, fake laughs. She plays the perfect role no one ever knows. She remains silent until the evidence is broadcast all over her face. I never understood why women stay, never tried to understand that mindset. I never understood until I caught my own reflection in a rearview mirror. Right eye swollen, black and blue, tears streaming, stinging my chapped lips. The inner dialogue should never take place. How can he do this if he loves me? Maybe if I forgive him, he will start being nicer, love me like I deserve. He was drunk. He only gets this angry when he is intoxicated. It was my fault. I made him mad. She buys into his excuses, rationalizations, justifications of behaviors that should never happen and are unthinkable. No one talks of the conversation she has with herself for years, how it affects every man she meets, how it carves out her self-esteem until she feels worthless. Some damage is so deep yet so close to the surface that she can never fully heal, forever scarred, back in blue, wired to her mutilated heart. And this next one is untitled, but it's by my brother's girlfriend in New York, Karen Martyr. I love this book. This whole book is written about her love for my brother, so I'm going to share one with you. There were so many things I had never done before, and coffee was one of them. I never needed it, being a naturally high energy morning person, ready to start the day even after 2 or 3 hours of sleep. Then again, I never drank as hard as we did in those first months with you. The booze smoothing over the edges, the incredible wow, the drinks coming like our conversations, like our kisses, effortless flow, the drunk so good that I almost didn't panic about the realization, almost, that I was in love with you. You brought me coffee on those mornings. I took it like a gift from the wise men themselves. The sweetness of those first cups lingers still. No one had ever brought me coffee before. Later, when I spent the night with you, you taught me about French press. I bought one immediately, but never quite mastered the art of not spilling the grounds. Still, preparing the coffee was one of your specialties. I loved to watch you as you took something so simple and made it beautiful. You made everything beautiful: trees, walking, silence, even school. You made school a beautiful place. Soon enough, there was hardly time for such art, but the coffee stayed on in the afternoons. I wanted us to save money, so I bought us a box of coffee pods, organic milk, and fancy sugar. You showed me that I was worthy of small luxuries, even when going without. In the mornings, you carry a paper cup for me, still, and sometimes you ask me if I prefer coffee or tea. Then you ask or bring without asking. I am baby Jesus himself, bathed in incense and gold. And now that I have made peace, and I jumped in, and I did all the work, and I am in it, just as I was on those first coffee days, but now that my life has finally caught up to my heart, I will make endless cups of coffee for you, beloved, touching the bitter with the sweet. That's Karen Martyr in New York. And this last one I wrote last year, but I was watching a documentary on the Beat Poets, and something stuck out to me, and I finally understood why my brother moved there. So this is called Escape to New York, which I'm going to be leaving next Friday. So, is that why you ran to New York? To be freed of your hometown? This small place next to a moderate city, a gray repressed city nestled in the dark forest, where there are more trees than people, more long stretches of highways than nightclubs and museums. I understand now why you had to leave, why coming back is so hard. I feel trapped within the evergreens and the constant shadows of the mountains. I am strangled by our hometown. Thank you.
Thank you, Tiffany. Hi, I'm Toni Partington. I'm going to introduce you to our next open mic reader, Lynetta Johnston Meeker. Lynetta, come on up. Welcome back. You read like this.
To the word.
You go like this when you're in 3D. He wants you to read, to use the 3D glasses. So you can
Oh,
look
yeah,
at it.
okay. You can write that chance. Okay,
Is that good?
yeah. I can hold these over here. Okay, can everyone hear me? Yeah. Okay. This is called Sunstrokes, and it was written about a year after I separated from my husband of 11 years, with whom I'd spent 15 years of my life at that point, and had 3 kids in 33 months toward the end of that relationship. And then, as I said, separated. This was also an exercise for a creative writing class that I was taking at the time at UC Riverside. Sunstrokes. This is a summer day, warm and long and lazy. The sun's heat is soaking in deep into the winter's cold. Rippling surf rustles and murmurs restlessly to loose, shifting sand. A warm breeze chuckles with faraway children's laughter. Faintly, an anxious dog calls to them, herding them from the sea. They're safe there. Gropingly, as one rising from sleep, I remember, in the haze of this vague afternoon, I'm beginning to remember. How is it that I had forgotten? Has it been so long since I last lay in the sun? Slowly, I remember. Yes, I remember now that every year there is a summer. And this one is, it's a short one on a subject that comes up from time to time and always touches me, and you'll see why because of the content, from the content of the poem. But it's called For Natalie Wood. I didn't know her, but I knew her fear because it was my own. And I can tell you that she didn't die by drowning. Or if she drowned, she died of terror first. I have known fear, and I know drowning isn't fast enough. And finally, on a little more upbeat note, this one is called Life Expectancy. It was written a few years after my separation, when things were going a little better. There is a wild scent in the air today, raunchy and full. Hear the blood rushing. Feel the portents and omens. These are the times that rise in me like a butterfly winging to the sun. My heart is on tiptoe, round-eyed and breathless with hesitant wonder, like a Christmas child. My ears wake up, and the whole world listens. My heart beats, and the earth comes to life. I dream, and the universe is pregnant with hope. Thank you.
I want to read something that I read probably about 6 months ago, and so that I can dedicate this to our next reader. But before I do that, I want to mention that there are some empty seats, and if someone would like a chair, if you would put your hand up if there's an empty chair next to you. There's 2 here. There's one there, and one there. Sure, come on up. Make yourself comfortable.
They're poets, they won't bite hard. Just little nibbles. Say something about that.
Oh, there's one. Yeah, there is one.
Oh, we're here in front row.
And over here too. No, I'll sit right here.
And while we're in chaos, and so I can get it out of here, someone left this here last month, so if you're the person who left it, come and let us know. Yeah, this isn't needed.
This is the right side.
Poetry can heal.
Okay, whoa, hello. All righty, I want to dedicate this then to our next reader. Let me read this before she comes up. It's to Morgan. And Morgan, I apologize for not getting this to you sooner, so I'm going to read it to you and then I'm going to hand the paper to you tonight. It's called West of Town, and I think I wrote this back in 2008, maybe. So here it goes. It's about 50 degrees and bright outside, not at all the February of last year. I still wear mittens, a cap, an oversized turtleneck sweatshirt, but leave my jacket in the car. The dog can't contain his excitement after traveling with the back window halfway down and his nose savoring every smell along the 5-mile drive. Now he paws at the door. He would yell, "Let me out," if he could talk. Some days I think he does talk, but I keep this to myself mostly. We cross the parking lot, already 3/4 full on our way to the river view. I must see the water before doing anything else. He pulls me along, forgetting to heel, forgetting to sit. I almost don't care. Then remember what I paid for obedience training and feign interest in keeping him alert to my commands. Today, commands seem outlandish. It's much too nice outside to care about rules. Swallowing up as much blue sky as I can and watching the sun dry out dozens of giant soggy leaves is enough. I'm content with this moment of me, dog, sky, sun, and crisp freshness all around. Today I came out of the cave for this. Left the fire and my blanket, my satellite movies and microwave popcorn. Today I don't worry about the cost of gas for an afternoon drive. I don't hear the cars race by or little kids tell their parents to pedal faster on the bike trail. I don't hear the young freckled girl cry into her cell phone or the big trucks cough up fumes. I don't hear any of it, not today. Today I can see Mount Hood and Mount St. Helens and a tiny bit of Mount Adams. I can smell the pavement warming and imagine dime-sized rain puddles receding under fallen leaves. At first, I hear them, far away, then closer, and then I see them, hundreds of geese like dots of peppercorns in the western sky. They are all heading my way, all honking and flying in my direction. My heart speeds up. I'm excited and thrilled. I'm ecstatic. I sigh and coo, cough, caught up in this magnificent sight. Then I'm crying, full. I feel full. What a glorious event overhead, free and unexpected, loud, alive, mine. The dog sits, looks up too. We wait for the last formation to pass and turn toward the parking lot. I don't want to go because I don't want the full feeling to leave. As we walk slowly toward the car, the dog automatically heels without a command. I know how much he wants to please me. He can't possibly know that positioning his small, furry self right next to my left leg makes the full feeling last much longer. Sometimes the beauty of things is simple. This simple. Morgan Hutchinson.
Thank you so much to Toni. I've been talking about that piece for a while to people, and it's my favorite piece of yours. I haven't read all of your stuff, but when I heard that, I mean, I think I teared up a little. Dogs are family, and thank you.
You're welcome.
So I have one piece to read tonight, and it is called "If My Mind Were a Landscape." Reliance throbs, lays back, stares at the planets. I'm easy, but this landscape is rocky. This landscape is glistening and ready to ebb tenderly, boldly, salty, wet, determined to charge the status and merge into your essence and catalog the rest. This landscape canyon, wilted tavern, it's fresh, ripe for concentration on complete clouds, synchronized river, brain waves, thumps, and tumult, without altercation. Skies turn moldy, but we can stay in bed. Idealism renders, lays back, stares at the water. I'm restless, but this landscape is constant. This landscape is freckled and sharply starting to be mindful, velvet, smoldering, soaked, determined to confront the exotic and soften to your body and compile the photos. Thank you.
Thank you, Morgan. Next, we're going to hear from Jim Martin. Hey, Jim.
Always tough acts to follow. I got two, and I'd like to do a little introduction for the first one. It starts with a question, and the question ends with the word singularity, and that refers to a long time ago, everything in the universe that was there collapsed into a tiny ball that you could hold in your hand, but that was infinitely heavy, and then exploded, and that's called the singularity, and that's where we all came from. And whatever was there at that time is what makes us up. And so that is something I've been thinking about and kind of writing about, that we aren't just the thing that's here, but we are everything that has been. And this first poem is What is Mind? And it starts with a question. Here's my question. Where did our mind come from? Is it a personal entity that each of us owns, or an echo of the chaos and order in the universe, an artifact of its history? Our genetic heritage forged in the world, our evolutionary path has traversed, drawing from our accumulation of matter and energy after the singularity. Excuse me. Mind your manners. Never mind. I don't mind. Make up your mind. We're of one mind. Mind you don't fall. Are you out of your mind? What is mind? Seems amorphous, the concept. Does mind hover, ephemeral fog? Think, forget, feel? Is it uncertain? Think with others. Exercise caution. Is it a spiritual thing, envelops us, tells us what to think, do, moves from place to place? Or does it reside, physical being, within me? And then there's some more writing, and then how do minds work? How can such a small thing, a brain, hold a universe within it? Emergent thoughts, stepping this way then that, wending their way to expression. Brain's travels leave their traces. Single neuron, fires, Hydra's wall contracts. Simple beginning. slow accretion of other neurons, more contractions, complex connections, learn what's outside, respond, build more parts, know, control and coordinate body, communicate with other bodies. The universe builds a mind. Thank you.
Next, we're going to hear from one of the other hosts here in Vancouver who runs a poetry reading at Paper Tiger Coffee Roasters, and I'm sure she'll mention it to you. Joyce Colson. Joyce?
Okay, I do host another open mic, and it's the 21st of this month. My featured reader will be Teresa Soto. And because it is October, and the end of the month is Halloween, I'm going to be also sharing some poems from an anonymous poet who goes by the name of Black Widow. And I'll give you a little bit of sneak previews of the kind of poetry I'll be reading. She's got various tombstones in here, and I'll just read a couple of them. They're short little two-line tombstone headings. This one's called An Unmarked Grave. It said, "Sign here," and she refused. Anonymous tombstone. I forgot who I was until I died. And it's also October, and so I've decided I'm going to share 3 of my poems that are political diatribes. That's because I got my dander up lately about the things going on in this world, and I don't want to be alone with my danders, so here it goes. This first one is called Time to be Kicked Out of the Nest. Look, it is a sky. Does it cloud our thinking? Are we full of hot air? Do we have clipped wings that don't even know how to fly? Are we listening to the wisdom of the gentle breeze? Or are all our fears wet? If we had liftoff, would we add to the fireworks? Or would our space drama explode? Why bother to ask? Our flight record is despicable. And I wrote this one on the first day of October, called October 2015. Is it hot in here, or is it just some global warming? The trees keep insisting the autumn of their colors demand global cooling. The drought of summer liked it so well that it decided to linger through autumn. Maybe the deniers are catching cold because they are hot under the collar, while the weather keeps being what it is, and we keep being mostly ignorant of what we truly are. If it is hot in here, it must be hell, but the devil doesn't care. He's too busy quoting the Bible and painting it over with hate. There's no wet paint sign either. There's just a contrast of colors. They are not autumn colors. So the next time we sweat it out, don't turn on the air conditioner. The weather keeps being what it is. We keep being mostly ignorant of what we truly are. And this last little diatribe, in whom do we trust? Please note the $1 bill. On the back it says, in God we trust. It says that since 1957, when Nikita Khrushchev didn't trust God. Please note the $1 that used to say, e pluribus unum, out of many, one. It reminds me that Sputnik didn't trust God either. Ironically, e pluribus unum is God. But today we don't trust the out of many, one. Instead, in God we trust. I suppose it is because we don't trust ourselves. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Christopher, and I'm a poet. And also shorter than Joyce. Couple of housekeeping type things I forgot to mention earlier. One is that there are two bathrooms. One of them is at the back of this room through the black door, and the other one is in niche next door. The other is that this month's art is by Josh Turner, and it is all in 3D, so you can come up to the front when you have an opportunity and put on a pair of these glasses. You have to provide your own LSD, but it's a pretty groovy experience. The other thing is, you might have been wondering about this strange little green bucket that's up here on the table. We are trying to tiptoe in the direction of collecting donations from the community, from people who would like to see us be able to pay our featured readers at some point, and also because we have successfully brought nationally known poets like David Meltzer and Neely Tchaikovsky here and used community donations to do that. We're hoping to keep that going. And even on evenings that are not Ghost Town Poetry evenings, you can come by Angst and drop off a donation or write a check directly to Angst, and she is helping us, acting as kind of the go-between for that kind of a thing. So if you're interested in supporting events like this in the future, then please make a donation. And now I'm very pleased to welcome up to the mic Chelsea. Come on up, Chelsea.
Hello, everyone. I just have a very short little piece to read. And I wrote it pretty much right before coming here, but it is something that's been on my mind for a while. A little. I can Thank you. Yeah. Protected dissolution. Dots, periods, anonymous symbols, sway weeping willows. Beautiful arrangements forever played out of tune by nervous hands. Led blindly under a veil of protection, we no longer tread lightly. There are 7 heavenly links in this broken chain. May God be more forgiving. Begging Google to salvage living data from our Godfather. Sorry.
Thank you, Chelsea. And next we are going to hear from Ian. You ready, Ian?
Oh, yeah.
I hope he'll be able to, yeah, in 3D. Ian King.
3D glass.
Take a picture of you guys in 3D.
Oh, you got that.
Whoa, check that out. Whoa, that's a, try this one.
But it's in 3D.
Whoa.
Are you taking a picture of us?
That's in 3D.
Raise up that light again.
I'll get it. This first one, I'm titling it 2 weeks ago. Lull. If I knew what state depression was, I would say I might be in it. Depression is a blanket on my shoulder, a heavy weight to lift. Forget to eat right, forget to go to the gym. Depression feels fat. Depression has no regrets, knows it never had a chance, why bother? The worst's when you try to pretend you don't have it at all. Nothing's wrong. You don't know what to say, how to say it, so you don't say anything. When it gets so bad, even a series of drinks seems achievable. Time to wait is time to sit, pause from banging my head against a wall. Depression is not patient. Depression does not wait. It is final. The interstate went through depression. I got off the nearest exit. This one I'm titling 2 hours ago. 4 fingers of bourbon on ice. The way you lean in real close whiskey breath and disown any credit, whiskers on your chin, nasty shit above your lip, and celebrate everyone else but yourself. The way you call her hun, let her know you're in the industry, but tonight you just happen to find yourself on the other side of the bar. So let's make it happen. Marvel at 4 fingers of bourbon on ice for $7. Give her an extra 2, you tell me. I gladly oblige. Hear the ice tinkle in the glass. Got 45 minutes to kill, and this here drink should take that time. Then take in dark wood bar, lit only by red neon, Christmas bulbs, jukebox lights and video poker machines, George Jones singing, "She Still Thinks I Care." The way you put your arm around my neck, draw my head to your shoulder once more, remind me of that time I got into another fist fight with Rich. But then, when cops pull up, we put our hands around each other like buddies, best buds. The way you deflect credit even though you owned the night, talking anybody can piss the bed, takes real balls to shit in the dresser. The way you talk shit about poetry readings, but celebrate the craft, that contradiction, talking about chops and practice, drafts and rewrites, dedication, words, carrying a journal wherever you go, devotion, commitment, culture, circumstances. Can't read your own handwriting, won't type it up, won't submit it, won't send it in. That's not the point. To write, now that's the point. Someone else will have to collect it all. If it ever gets collected, fuck it. Something else about personifying the moon as it watches us under the bridge, making fools of ourselves, drinking and fighting and loving, being human, being brothers, once more being brothers, and the moon, she just smiles.
Thanks, Ian. And next we're going to hear from Julie O'Mara. Come on up, Julie.